What's up, everybody? My name is Jason, and welcome to the Small Biz Report, where we talk about what's trending in business news, the stock market, and more. Today's episode is entitled Elon Musk Slams Twitter as Paramount Gets Sued for Top Gun. Please do me a huge favor. Give this video a thumbs up, hashtag small biz with your comments below, and make sure you join us at trysmallbiz.com. That's trysmallbiz.com, where you can advertise your company for free, or for just $1 a day, you can hire me as a premium member, and I will promote you to more than 100,000 people on social media. That's trysmallbiz.com. Make sure to get started today. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is our brand new show. We are, for now, at least calling it the Small Biz Report. It is my job to educate and entertain you so that you know what the hell is going on in this world in 10 minutes or less. And as I said last week, the idle justice war continues on Twitter. The reason for that is the portal is closed, the money has been exhausted, and virtually all of our audience is over at Try Small Biz on Twitter. Chuck Schumer, Ben Cardin, Nydia Velasquez in the game, including Miss Isabel Guzman at the SBA. They're not in the comments on YouTube along with the hackers from Instagram. My goodness, I blocked 36 of them the other day, and about 30 more came back within 2 or 3 hours later. So we need to stop saying those 4 letters in the headline of these videos unless there's major breaking news. However, if you're over on Twitter following me at Try Small Biz, the war continues. There's 5 must-haves for small business. 1, the 10K. 2, stop the accrual of interest. 3, 5-year loan deferment. They've already done 2.5 years. We want another 2.5 without the accrual of interest. We want the damn loan forgiven. We got 177,000 restaurants that are still in need of RRF. And yes, if you're among about 5,000 people who are legit that got cut off from the SBA with respect to EIDL, then you have money coming to you, and I will not rest, I will not give up until that happens. However, we have to be honest with one another. The game is over. The jig is up. The only way we're going to get all 5 of those accomplished, or at least some of them, is if we pound away where the audience is. They're not here. They're not on Facebook or LinkedIn. They're all on Twitter. So pounding away on Twitter, in addition to phone calls and emails, is how we're going to get it done, but it's very important. I can't stress this enough, and I'm only going to say this in today's video. Many of you have been waiting and waiting and waiting on idle. And you probably should have pivoted or sought out other sources of funding a long time ago, and some of you did. But the reason why we get barely any attention or any interest in idle, I can assure you, is that over 98% of our audience, 4 million people in the U.S. got $380 billion. And while that's no solace to a few thousand people, most people have moved on. I have gotten email after email over the last year. Would you just talk about something else other than idle? I got my money. I got this. It's time to move on, ladies and gentlemen. So I've shared 3 sources of funding that have connections at 300 lenders. Watch the last few videos. Those are pinned in the top comment of the prior 2 or 3 videos. It is time to move on. So with that being said, Elon Musk is slamming Twitter, its CEO and the board, because they're trying to tell Elon, and I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below, that only 5% of Twitter, I think there's 700 million profiles, are fake. They're trying to say only 5% are spam bots. Elon and others, including myself, are saying it's probably at least 20%. And for that reason, Elon doesn't want to pay $54.20. And that's why the stock right now is at $39.10. My personal opinion, he's going to end up paying $44.20 and justifying it by saying the spam bots are far greater than 5%. And I cannot pay, and the market's telling you this, $54.20. But to still poke fun at the pot smokers, that's the AKA 420. In my opinion, he's just going to lower it $10. It's ultimately going to be sold and taken over by Elon. It's going to totally change the game at $44.20. But I'd love to hear your thoughts. Do you think it's more than 5% or spam based on what you guys see? And if you want to throw in a price projection as to what you think Elon's going to ultimately pay for Twitter. I'd love to see that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, among other things, Top Gun. Who saw it? I haven't seen it, so don't spoil it for me, but 97% on Rotten Tomatoes. The action scenes from friends of mine say it's breathtaking. Most everyone is also throwing out there that it's better than the original. But speaking of the original, there is a gentleman, and I think he's passed away, but his family is suing Paramount for an unspecified number, but the rumor we hear is 10%. Top Gun has grossed 546% in its first week. Oh my God. It's his biggest movie ever. Tom Cruise is going to be 60 years old. My goodness, did you see the Mission Impossible 7 trailer the other day? He looks about 35 in that video, and that was shot after the Top Gun movie. Whatever he's doing, I know he had the puffy face at the Giants game last year. Remember that? It looked like someone injected whatever that was. But the red carpet for Top Gun Maverick, he looked amazing. But anyway, there was a guy, let me see if I can pronounce his name. Ehud, and if I got it wrong, forgive me. Ehudyoonay. Again, apparently he's passed away, but in 1983, he wrote an article called Top Guns. And apparently it loosely references a special division within the U.S. Air Force that may or may not be related to Maverick's character. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, although the family claims that they tried to say something in 2018 when rumblings of the movie were starting to happen, copyright infringement. So you guys tell me in the comments below, are they entitled to $54 million in the first week just based upon an article that their father may have written 40 years ago? Or is that a big pile of BS? I'd love to hear your thoughts. And in closing, ladies and gentlemen, the stock market as we speak, and we're going to perfect this shtick in under 10 minutes or less as we work through the next few weeks. I don't use notes. I've never edited a video. It's all coming straight from the heart, but we have to begin to talk about something other than the E word. The Dow has given up its gains on the day. It's down 40 as we speak. The S&P is basically flat. The NASDAQ is currently up 19. If you're following me on Twitter at TrySmallBiz, you know that my favorite indicator is the IWM, the small cap ETF. It's currently up a half at 187.50. That bottomed around 168 a few weeks ago when we went all in. And ladies and gentlemen, it is true. If you scroll down about 4 miles at TrySmallBiz on Twitter, we have had 20 wins and 1 loss. And if I'd have waited just one more day, right, you saw Wish popped up over 2, it would have been 21-0. For 668%. So yes, anyone that's followed me in and out has made over 6 times their money in the last 3.5 months. However, it's very important, and you're going to hear me talk about this a lot in the Small Biz Report in the weeks ahead, to have an investment portfolio as well. What we're doing on Twitter, and we're going to set up another channel, is trading. And it's very aggressive trading. You can't make 600% or even 60% in the worst stock market since 1932 unless you're really pushing the envelope. But that's something that I've done for over 30 years. I am very comfortable with a 20 or even 30% drawdown because I know if you never put more than 10% in one idea, you're not going to get wiped out. But it's important that you have an IRA or a 401k and at least half to maybe 3/4 of your money on autopilot. Get an S&P or a NASDAQ 100 ETF. You can get those anywhere. I use E-Trade, but you can get it at Schwab, Fidelity. They're all about the same. Some are a little better than others depending on what you trade. But I happen to really enjoy E-Trade. Get an ETF, get a few of them, tied to the S&P, tied to the small cap ETF, which is IWM if you want, or the S&P 500. And when we implode, as we have over the last several months, if you can, you want to increase your dollar cost average amount. So if you were adding $100 a month or $1,000 a month, make it $150 or $1,500 a month when the market comes down, because you're buying more shares with less money. And over time, through the compounding of interest, that's really going to help you make lots of money, which again is my mission. I am on a mission to help small businesses make money both in the stock market and at TrySmallBiz.com. So ladies and gentlemen, in under 10 minutes, I hope you enjoyed the first edition of the Small Biz Report. Always remember that I love you, and I hope to see you over at TrySmallBiz.com.